What's happening, people? What you need in the building? And I'm going to talk about a couple of things. As you can see, the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is Vasily Lomachenko, he is not a punk. He's a tough guy. He has the will to win. He knows the formula to win. He has won many fights. His father's a master strategist. He is not a punk. Okay? I'm listening to people say some really, again, I don't understand why they do it, but they say some dumb stuff. And I'm here to check some of your fans out here. I'm not trying to be favoritist. I'm not trying to be somebody to soothsay you guys so I can get people to go to fights and talk about fights. Hell no. What you need and what you need's channel hit you with it straight. I was listening to Beeb, shout out to Beeb and his channel, Ringside Reporter. And Beeb said something that was just so cool. He said a lot of things. But I think the best way to sum up what Beeb is talking about and what a lot of these analysts are talking about is summarized so well in the words of Calvin Ford, the trainer of Gervonta Tank Davis. And he sums it up like this. Teofimo Lopez is a young gun stunner. I'll say it again. He's a young gun stunner. Gervonta Tank Davis is a young gun stunner. What does that mean? Young gun. Bernard's son from the DMV area. Bernard's son, who signed with Mayweather Promotions. He young gun. What do we mean by young gun? Young Guns was outlaws. That was a movie. And they're gunners. If you listen to the Charlos, they're young guns. In fact, the Charlos are young gun stunners. Stunner. A stunner is a guy who can take your lights out with shots. He can stun you. He can take you out. Young gun stunner. So young, next generation fighter, Terry Norris, young gun stunner, went up against Sugar Ray Leonard, right? All right, so Calvin Ford said it like this. Vasily Lomachenko has not faced any young gun stunners in his pro career. I don't know for his amateur career, but in his pro career, he hasn't faced them. And Teofimo Lopez is a young gun stunner. The announcer for Mayweather Promotions, he was talking about looking at Orlando Salido's approach to how he beat Teofimo Lopez, how he beat Lomachenko, and Calvin Ford stopped him and said that all of that's not relevant. He don't have to fight like that. He's a young gun stunner. He said, here's the game that he got to give Teofimo Lopez, which Teofimo Lopez already has. You go in that fight without fear. Without fear. Because you are young. You are 23 years old. You're a young gun stunner. You got power in both hands. So that when you're going into that fight with a much older guy than you, 32 years old, like Mayweather, 21, 32 was Janelle Hernandez. Got good mileage on him, as Teddy Atlas said. Lomachenko's got mileage on him. Take care of his body, but he got mileage. Young gun stunners are the ones that take out the established, hard-working champs. But you say to me, well, Teofimo Lopez, man, he don't be as active as Lomachenko, but he's a young gun stunner. Gervonta Tank Davis, young gun stunner. Charlos, Jamel, and Jamal, young gun stunners. They got boxing skill. But the fight don't always go the distance. More than likely, you don't go the distance. So, why this is important, I'm just going to talk about this and just leave this video alone after that, is that's what Lomachenko's going up against. An opponent that's quick, sharp. It's not just power. See, like Jorge Linares had power. He talks about how he has faster hand speed than Teofimo Lopez, but he don't have quick feet like Teofimo. He don't just boom in a flash, bam, bam, and it's gone. Call it reaction time. Call it quickness. He's not quick like him. He's not agile as he is. And those are the God gifting kind of things, right? So young gun stunners, they can box, but they got that added factor in them. You know what I'm saying? And they get their opponents out of there if they don't belong in the ring with them. Get you out of there. If you belong in the ring with them, well, they go 12 rounds. And they had to use other tools. But if you don't belong in the ring with them, you're not staying in the ring with them. Right? So, just wanted to leave that with you guys. Ryan Garcia is a young gun stunner. He gets guys out of there. All right? When Ryan Garcia faces against Luke Campbell, I will not be surprised Ryan Garcia gets Luke Campbell out of there. Okay? Because he's a young gun stunner. This, you know what I'm saying? So it was really interesting to hear Calvin Ford talk about that. Of course, after watching this weigh-in, a lot of you guys are gonna want to know what was my view on the weigh-in. Both guys may wait. Both guys look like they're ready to fight. Both guys look like they're ready. Lomachenko looks ready. Teofimo look ready. Clearly, both guys don't like each other. You can see that. Lomachenko, he don't like Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez for sure don't like Lomachenko. You can tell just by the stare down that Teofimo Lopez don't like Lomachenko. And from this particular week, we learned and we see that Lomachenko don't really like Teofimo Lopez either. Okay, they don't really like each other. Lomachenko tried to skirt the issue. Teofimo Lopez comes straight at it. So this makes for a very good sort of throwback fight, you know, because Lomachenko ain't no punk. I'm going to say it again. Lomachenko is no punk. That boy can fight. If he has to go fight, he will fight. Look in the Luke Campbell fight. When Luke Campbell got him hurt, Lomachenko turned it up. And he started fighting. Okay? So don't mistake. And he came in on the 135-pound limit. He put on some more muscle mass. He toned up some. If he got to take punches, he's going to take punches. Right? He going to weather the storm to get to where he want to go. If he got to bully his way in, he going to try and bully his way in. You saw when Teofimo Lopez and Becca them in, and the guy was showing him where he need to stand, how Lomachenko just sprung to that point. He sprung out to that point. And then Lopez put his hand on the other guy's hand, so you can put down the hand of the guy. He won't dog me. He won't dog me. T was cool. He was calm. Yet you could just see in his eyes and his sneer on his face, he didn't like Lomachenko at all. And I saw it when he won against Richard Comey, and Lomachenko was looking at him smiling, and Teofimo Lopez watching him with a sneer, like, you know, because you could tell Teofimo Lopez don't like Lomachenko. He really don't like him, right? Not in a hate in his heart way, but like he can't wait to put his hands on him. And I feel the same way about Lomachenko. Lomachenko's fed off that energy that Teofimo Lopez has been sending him. And he can't wait to put his hands on Teofimo Lopez and really put a beating on him. I could tell both fighters in a very subtle way want to impact. They want to make their point. And that's going to lead to something really nice. You know, it's going to start off kind of tactical. It depends on how Teofimo Lopez comes out. It depends on how Lomachenko comes out. Right? But I'm sensing that this fight at some point is going to be very, very explosive. Very, very explosive. And we're going to learn, right? Because Teofimo Lopez said it. He said it after the weight, after making weight. He said, I'm going in there to beat him down. I'm going in there to bully him. I'm going in there. He basically said, I'm going in there to fight him. Yeah, I'm going to use my boxing skills and all of that, but I'm going in there to fight. He's thinking this is going to be a chess match. I'm going to make this a fight. Okay? And that's interesting. That's very interesting. It's not going to be a stupid fight like how Jason Sosa did it. It's not going to be so technical like Jorge Linares was. No. He's going to use his attributes and skills to beat down and bully Lomachenko around the ring. That's his intention, at least. But I'm saying, I'm going to let it be clear to everybody, Lomachenko is not a punk. And if you want to fight him, he's going to fight back. And he fights hard. So we're going to see what really will go down. Now, Lopez is the bigger dude. He got the harder punch. He had to know, I'm sure he will know where to place his punches and so on. But what's exciting about this fight, which a lot of people see, I'm not here to, even though I picked Teofimo Lopez to win in 5, don't get it twisted. I'm not here to talk down about nobody, but I'm excited about this fight. This is an exciting fight. That's why I'm talking so much about it. Because it was one of the fights that all of us as fans anticipated and we want to see. But I feel that the duration of time these guys didn't get to fight, and they get an opportunity to fight, and also the fact that they don't really like each other. As much as Lomachenko was saying, you know, I'm going after the belts, blah, 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 like Teofimo Lopez was saying, the one thing he didn't acknowledge is that he does not like Teofimo Lopez, which is why he wanted to put a beating on him. He wanted to put a beating on Lopez, but guess what? Lopez want to put a beating on Lomachenko. It's interesting. You know what I'm saying? And that makes for a recipe of explosiveness. And whether the fight goes 1 round or goes 12 rounds, that makes for a very exciting fight. No doubt about it. And I always remember Yuriorkis Gamboa, Terrence Crawford. It's a very memorable fight. Gamboa didn't have that kind of defense that Lomachenko had. And Crawford, though he was world champion, you know, and of course, you know, also Gamboa wasn't a world champion, right? He didn't have all those. He had accolades. He was, again, a guy that came up from featherweight to super featherweight and then to lightweight, like Lomachenko. I always think about that because I say, if it come down to having a fight, these two guys had to fight it out. And I know Lomachenko's got strategy stuff, but I know that boy could fight. I know that boy could fight. And that's where the respect will come. Because if all those little tactics and strategies don't work, he's going to fight. And what we're going to see might be the most entertaining fight of the year. I'm not saying, you know, because there's going to be skill in it, but don't get it twisted. Teo is going to fight the boxer. If Lomachenko thinks he's going to go in there and box Teo, he got another thing coming. He's going to use basic boxing skills. He's going to use the boxing skills, the boxing techniques, the way to circle and all the things. But he's going to fight Lomachenko. I think this is going to be a fight. It's going to come down to being a fight. And that's where Teofimo Lopez has the advantage, yes. But how much he has the advantage, we have to see. This is a very interesting fight. And let me say why I say that. Because as much as Teofimo Lopez might be smart, and Lomachenko might be smart, and they're smart boxers, here's the thing about it. Teo got the power on his side. He can hit you with a one-hitter quitter. But he didn't one-hitter quitter Nakatani now. Right? Now, I know Lomachenko was a guy coming up in weight. But Lomachenko's tough. People say Lomachenko don't have a chin. Man, he got caught flushed by Luke Campbell multiple times. Hurt. Came back and came back strong. He didn't get put down. The two guys that put him down, Garrison Jr., who he put down, and Jorge Linares. Okay? I don't believe that means he doesn't. And that was a flash knockdown with Jorge Linares, right? He walked into the shot. And if you walk into a shot, people, you can get dropped. Okay? All right. If you walk into a shot, anybody, I don't care how strong you are, you walk into a shot, you can get dropped. Okay. I don't think Lomachenko is chinny. I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe, and just looking at his physique and just looking how he's built, that he is tough as hell. He's strong, but he's a good technical boxer at the same time. And why Lomachenko didn't want to face a guy like Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney or any young gun stunner like he wanted Javante Davis though, is because it's a tough fight. Why would I want a tough fight of a guy who ain't done nothing? So Teo got a belt, and when he got the belt, Loma was like, "Hey, this is worth it now. This is a tough ass fight." That's why Loma said, "Man, I'm gonna try and punish his ass for 12 rounds." Or I'm gonna be 100% for this fight because he knows it's a tough fight. He knows it's a tough fight. This ain't no easy fight. Now Teofimo Lopez behaves like it's an easy fight, but Teofimo Lopez knows as well and trained for it for a tough fight. He said he trained for 12 hard rounds, high pace hard rounds. He knows. So it's not like these guys going into this fight are going in clueless. They know what they're going into, and that's what makes for an interesting fight. Not necessarily a one-sided domination, and makes for great fights. For great fights. And that is where I stand on this thing. And I just wanted to share this with you guys as I watched the I'm sweating like crazy. When I watched the weigh-in, because both fighters are ready. They're ready. They're ready to rock. They're ready to go. they could have done it right on the stage, but obviously they wouldn't have done it. They're too professional for that. They would get paid for it. This is what Teo was waiting all his life, his pro career for, and he's getting it. And Lomachenko wanted all his career to be undisputed. He wanted to add an extra touch onto the marvelous amateur career he had. His hiccup was Salido coming in his second fight. He learned from that, and he's stepping up to the plate. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, a lot of people think that Teo's just going to knock out Lomachenko. It don't work like that, folks. This is an elite fighter. He's not no punk. And he will fight. If he has to fight, he will fight. He's good at fighting. Okay? So don't get it twisted. It's not like you have to be all technical all the time. And I'm not saying they ain't going to use technicality, but I'm just saying if it turns out to be a fight, he's going to fight. And he'll try and fight off Teo. And if Teo is not up to par, or he's defensively somewhere flawed, especially in the moments when he's coming up close to Lomachenko to really try and close the gap and really close the deal, that's when Lomachenko will fight him back. And then Teo's going to realize Lomachenko's stronger than I thought. I'm not saying that. He might be prepared for that. But, he's talking about, the guy being a 126 pounder, no 126 pounder could deal with 135. Listen, man, the guy's strong. Okay, he's strong. Yeah, okay, he got knocked down by Jorge Linares, but he wasn't hurt. Okay, it's a flash knockdown. And Garros Jr. did drop his ass, and he was a little bit wobbly for the rest of the round. I think it was the 8th or 9th round. Garros Jr. did drop him. Okay, but the point is, and he did lose to Orlando Salido. So these are some things worth noting. They don't mean much for this fight because I'm gonna tell you why it don't mean much. Lomachenko's not going in the ring against Orlando Salido. He's not going in the ring against Garros Jr. He's not going in the ring against Jorge Linares, and he's not going in the ring against Luke Campbell. He's not going in the ring against Jose Pedraza. He's going in the ring with a young gun stunner. It's a different game. He's going to have to be careful to avoid the power of the young gun stunner. So be mindful about the lead right hand, which is a southpaw killer, which if thrown many different ways, is just, you can't avoid that. So he has to prepare to be able to take the lead right hand if he has to take that punishment. Secondly, for young gun stunners, You got to be able to adjust and make sure you can get your shots in, and so nullify Teofimo Lopez's left hook. Then he has to somehow nullify the quickness of Teofimo Lopez. All right. All of this is done strategically by going to the body of your opponent. So once you can start getting body work in early, and that goes for Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? If they go to the body early, I hear Teofimo Lopez talking about body attack. So that's interesting. Okay. Now going to the body is very important in this fight. Right? Lomachenko has stopped most of his opponents by going to the body. You know, sometimes he go to the body fake up top and then fake down below as if you're going to the body shot, and then he come over top like what he did with Rocky Martinez. Shout out to Buxton So Fun. Buxton So Fun, saying facts. You know what I'm saying? So this is a very, I'm telling you, man, it's a really intriguing fight. I'm very excited about it. Um, I tell you my pick, okay? I haven't betted on it. I would really, in terms of something to do online, maybe cut my hair, shave my beard, whatever. We could do that as well. It makes it very interesting, you know, just trying to make predictions and see them come through and that kind of thing, fandom. But I like to specify the elements you're dealing with, you know, because a lot of people, I don't know why they think that Lomachenko's chinny. I don't see it. I don't see that he's chinny. I just don't see it. I don't see also that I mean the fight could end at any point, right? But I don't see also, on the other hand, that Teofimo Lopez is just it's going to be easy work for Teofimo Lopez. I don't see it like that either, right? But I know he's ready, and he knows he's ready. And Lomachenko's ready, and that's what makes for this great fight. And no matter what pick you pick, right? I'm not gonna dog your pick. If you pick Lomachenko, I'll be like, yeah, of course, rocket science, duh. Of course, you're gonna pick Lomachenko, right? Experience, great amateur career. Guys who come out the Olympians who come out of the amateurs do very well in the pros. This guy was just excellent. You know, tough fights straight through, and this is gonna be another tough fight, right? You got to give it to Lomachenko. Look at the competition this man be fighting, fight after fight after fight. You know, I mean, come on now. So I understand if you say Lomachenko will win. I get it. I get it. Why am I picking Teofimo Lopez? I explained that already. But the point is that why I picked the young gun stunner is because I understand sometimes the changing of the guard and changing ears. And this kid is for real. Lopez is for real. And a lot of people are looking at him and they're not taking what he's saying, even though time and time again he produces the goods. Time and time again, he has shown that he's up to that, and people have been underestimating him, including myself. He's shown that he can do it. And I think a lot of people are underestimating him in this fight. And then the other thing, which made me swing to the corner, was we're ignoring that Lomo's taking more punishment of recent times, and two, that he lost in his career. There is a method to beat him, right? Somebody beat him. So if somebody could beat him, why can't this young gun stunner beat him? Right? We've seen it in the pros. Now, the amateur career is great. Okay. Of course, it's different. There's different rules. There's less rounds. You know, it's a different system. But regardless, he got beaten in the pros by an old, savvy, experienced Mexican fighter who knew how to fight southpaws because he had so much experience in fighting southpaws. Now, follow me. Experience is only relevant, think about what I'm saying, depending on who you are facing. Think about it. What do I mean by that? Gennaro Hernandez had a hell of a lot of experience. But Oscar de la Hoya beat him, and Floyd Mayweather beat him by stoppage. What did I say? Stop. What were these two fighters? Young gun stunners. At least at that time in their career, it was knocking everybody out. You think of Leonard versus Terry Norris. You think of Um, well, Wilfredo Benavides versus Antonio. I forgot his surname. The Panamanian guy, right? That Benavides beat. He wasn't old, and Benavides wasn't a young gun stunner. That's that. But young guys always be old. It's a lot. I mean, you look at Bernard Hopkins versus Sergey Kovalev, right? Bernard Hopkins versus Sergey Kovalev, a unification, right? I wouldn't call Sergey Kovalev a young gun stunner, but he sure can floor people. He wasn't a young gun at the time, right? But he was younger than Hopkins. And the older dog does beat the younger dog. Okay? So Lomachenko absolutely could beat Teofimo Lopez. It's absolutely possible. And if we say, oh, it's an impossibility, then we're being stupid. Right? So even if we make predictions, it doesn't necessarily mean that we ruled completely out an opponent because I say this guy will win. But there's many different things that can go into play with that. And I listen to Joe Tessitore and I agree with him. There's many different things at play. So you can't really definitively say, oh, I'm going with this guy, or I'm going with that guy, right? So, yeah, man, bucks tons of fun. Yes, sir. So there's a lot of things in play. But what I'm saying is though, that young gun stunners do beat more experienced fighters. And sometimes they're not completely out of their prime. Yeah, thanks, man. They're not completely out of their prime, but at the same time, they the younger guy, because he got all these the specific gifting and specific knowledge, the skills already inside of him, he's able to produce that on the older guy who hasn't seen a fresh young fighter that can do that athletically, etc. Right? So that's why sometimes the young guns, and then because of change of eras, sometimes the younger fighters bring something extra to the game. It's not just their youth, but it's extra bit of knowledge that the older heads may not have had sometimes, or they didn't really apply in a long time, and so that kind of tilts them one way or the other. But usually I believe it's not even the knowledge, it's just the energy, the vibrancy, the skills, the gifting, how quick they are and all that kind of stuff that really overcomes the older head in the end, right? But at the end of the day, Vasily Lomachenko is an active fighter. He fights, with an incredible pace. So that pace is going to be there on Teofimo Lopez. So if Lopez has not been fighting pace is everything in boxing. If he's not fighting where Lomachenko starts to turn it up, right? But if Lopez, because Lopez doesn't throw a whole bunch of punches. He's like Deontay Wilder. He's like Floyd Mayweather. He's like Andre Ward. They throw like 40 punches per round. Okay. Now, and Floyd wasn't always that way. Okay. Even Ward wasn't always that way, right? Wilder was always that way. He picks his punches and he chooses what. But the point is, if Teofimo Lopez can't handle the pace that Lomachenko starts to generate in a fight, right? Because there's a lot of tempo, a lot of pace. That's Lomachenko. If he can't keep the speed with that, he gonna be in trouble. Trouble. Because it's one thing to say you're well conditioned. It's another thing to say you're well conditioned for a particular fighter. And Lomachenko's style is a busy style. He's a busy fighter. Okay? He goes, he watches, he observes you for a round or two, and then he starts doing his thing. Okay? So he may not come in here like that. It might be, like I said before, because Luke Campbell's fight, they were fighting at certain points. They were fighting. In the pocket, they were fighting. And sometimes on the outside, at mid-range, they were fighting. And Lomachenko was fighting his way to the inside. Okay? And that's a different kind of, and that's what I noticed about, because basically he was trying to bully Luke Campbell into not circling a certain way to cut off a certain angle that he wanted approaching Luke Campbell at. And he started bullying him into to doing that. And he actually was successful to a higher degree in doing that. Bucks Ton So Fun says that's the only thing I fear for Lopez. Loma is so well conditioned. He could probably stay active for over 15 rounds, in my opinion. Absolutely. Absolutely. The man is something, you know? Because even, yeah, because even in his fight with what was it? Even in his fight with Orlando Salido, which he lost, he went all 12 rounds. Salido didn't get him out of there, and Salido was the bigger guy. And Salido will stop you if you could. Okay, and he was coming on strong in the later rounds. He really, one thing about Lomachenko, he comes on strong in the later rounds. When you start to fade, that's when he really starts to shine. You know what I'm saying? He really starts to shine then. So, like I said before, Lomachenko is no punk. He's no punk. You know, he's no punk. But if he gets caught with something like any other fighter, if he gets caught with something really serious, some heat on him, and that's what young gun stunners do, you know, that's that's what it is. And I think that he has a high probability of getting hit with some heat that, you know, just what it is. But this is what you need in the building. Shout out to everybody else out there, including my boy Buxton So Fun. Um, I hope everything's good with you in the COVID season. It's a rough season for a lot of people, financially, etc. So yeah, man, when he got caught by Campbell a couple times, he got knocked off his balance. Yeah, well, Campbell, man, Campbell actually hurt him a couple times, but he just came back. I remember the round where Campbell hurt him pretty bad, and he came back in that round, and I mean, he fought Campbell like he was. Oh, you want to go toe to toe? Let's go, baby, let's go. You wake him up. It was good. It was a good fight. It was a good fight, and it showed me something about Lomachenko. Even with the Orlando Salido fight, man, he fought. He fought his ass off. He can fight. The boy can fight. He can box, but he can also fight. Okay, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize about technical boxers. They say, oh, they technical, certain technical boxers. They technical, they soft. This guy could just knock him out. No, same thing with when we talk about Floyd or we talk about Pernell Whitaker. Oh, he's just not. No, it don't work like that. Okay, even if Loma's getting hit and tagged by the right hand, he might even get dropped by the right hand. Okay, but he get used to that right hand, and Tio don't have nothing different. He's not varying the right hand. Not he's not doing things differently. Tio gonna have a long night on his hands. Doesn't necessarily mean that he could lose the fight, but I'm just saying. And same for Lomachenko. He could make it possible once he could take Tio's punch a bit, or because he got defense as well. He's not going. Tio's not going to walk in there and just be knocking him cold, right? Lomachenko take a step back, different things, make Tio fall short, all kinds of things he can do, right? So it's not just straightforward like that. And I'm not saying Tio's just going to use the right hand. I'm not going to say that. We were all talking about Tio just using the right hand, but actually he may use some other tools. He may use different things, but mainly against the southpaw, the right hand is very effective. But you have to be able to have the footwork to accompany that, right? But nonetheless, my point is that there's a lot of factors involved in this fight. But I look at the two fighters; they look like they want to face each other. I think they want to fight each other. I'm very happy about that. And the other thing about it is, when I saw that, there was a possibility this fight would not have happened. Okay, and Lomachenko put up his money, and he said, put his money where his mouth is, and said, "All right, man, I'm gonna give this guy the money so that we can have this fight." So I was amazed that he did that, if that is true. And so if that's the case, man, let's have the fight. Let's have the fight. Hold on a second. Dog barking out there. I want to see what's going on. Ooh, okay. What's that all about? I don't know. What's up, buddy? Oh, I hear other dogs barking. Okay. That's interesting, though. I hear a whole set of commotion further down the road. Something's going on. We gotta watch out. Places we have to be very vigilant where I live now, because this is a season where crime goes up, and dangerous, lethal crimes too. Yeah. Anyway, man. So all I'm saying is that that these fighters, man, they're not just superficially, everybody's just kind of writing off this guy or writing off that guy. I'm not writing off nobody. Okay, I'm not writing off nobody. I give Lomachenko the respect and due that he deserves. I don't overhype him either. I see people saying very untrue things about him, like he's pound for pound number one. He's not pound for pound. And Teddy Atlas says in his listing, that's Teddy Atlas. But you can't ignore guys that have done some extraordinary things like Canelo Alvarez. And even though I do agree that Terrence Crawford hasn't really fought any proper names as of now. But then you got Naoya Inoue, who's been doing some stuff. So I mean, and he's unified as well. So you have to pay attention to those guys. You know what I mean? But of course, Lomachenko is in the top five, definitely. You know what I mean? If you wanted to say that, but you don't have to say the top pound for pound fighter in the world. I don't understand why people do that. Like, why you have to over exaggerate it for Lomachenko? That's the only thing I don't understand. Bucks Son of Son says, yeah, it's hard to overlook either fighter in this scenario. They're both great. I think so. I think Teofimo is going to turn out to be a great fighter as well. What am I saying? He's already, proven. Well, we'll see. But at the end of this fight, man, I hope that fans enjoy it. Congratulate both fighters. I won't hear nobody bashing the loser. you know, you can have bragging rights though, so you could go ahead and brag all over the place. So I picked the right guy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But admire the attributes of these fighters. Admire their hard work and dedication. You don't have to like a fighter to respect him. You don't have to like a fighter to acknowledge and recognize the hard work they put in, the dedication to the sport. This is the thing I just want people to sort of separate sometimes their emotions from factual information. And that's all I'm saying to the fans. And no excuses. Why would make excuses? If Lopez loses, no excuses. You know, he stepped up to the plate. He got himself as ready as possible, and he came up short. Okay, all right. It's Vasily Lomachenko. If it's Lomachenko loses, he stepped up to the plate, prepared himself, got himself ready, came up short, and more than likely he's going to go down to 130. He's not going to pursue trying to be undisputed after that. He'll go down to 130. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? Now you got some money. See, it's so much different when you put money on fighters because now you got to put your money where your mouth is. And then if your bet goes sour, you lose money, right? And that's why kind of in this fight game, when you put your money where your mouth is, now you can't be talking trash and talking bullshit because now your money's locked into it. And that's why when I made my pick about a week or so ago, I stayed with my pick because I think about it as if, hey man, I put down a bet here, Teofimo in five, right? That was my prediction. So if my prediction is not right, and that's the nice thing about boxing. Boxing is consequence. If you didn't prepare properly for a fight, it's gonna show in the ring. Similarly, if you didn't prepare for the prediction, you didn't really do due diligence on your prediction, and hey, you need to stay with your prediction. You can't be changing your prediction. Okay, it's like you go to the betting office and you put down a bet. Now you can't recant on that. You can't go back to the office and say, I changed my mind. Let me get back my money. Nope. So similarly, I said TO in five. I'm staying with it. And my credibility is on the line, and it's okay. Because like I said before, you don't have to get every single fight correct. Right? But if you have sound reasoning and you're looking at all the factors and you're talking about a fight, why not? Why not? Why not make a prediction? It's fun. That's what fans like to do. That's why we do fantasy fights, right? Predictions. It's like a prediction. But you're going back or forward in time. Because these guys probably never face each other anyway. But what I would love to see as we talk about that is see sometimes some of these old greats in the ring with each other. People talk about, well, what if this and what if that? And I like how Mike Tyson versus, I'm going to talk about that later, just now. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. happened. But anyway, we talk about Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko. Both guys are not punks. We're going to see what Teofimo Lopez has. There's a lot of unknown factors involved in Teofimo Lopez. There's a lot of mystery behind him. And I think that's the thing. And he's talking all this talk. Is he and his dad just be talking mad trash talk. I think that at the end of the day, I think that that's what's so exciting about this thing. That you got, if it wasn't for Teofimo Lopez, I don't think this would be as exciting. But I think because it's Teofimo Lopez, this is a rising star. This is a young gun stunner. Because of that, this makes this fight so much more interesting. And we'll see. We'll see what happens come tomorrow. By Sunday morning, we'll all know what's happening, and we'll all be able to report on it. Yeah, I'm so excited. There's this energy. There's a certain energy in you. Man, I wonder if I'm right. I wonder if I'm wrong. You're kind of anxious. You want to see the fight. You're wondering about both fighters. You're wondering if the fighter that you pick will be correct. All these kind of, I love that. In big fights, I love it. And you know what? A lot of people say, Poopy Sister, what's up? What do you think? What do you think Loma is a modern day Willie Pep? Yeah, he is a Willie Pep like style. But I think he's more aggressive than Willie Pep, one. And two, I think he's more what's the word I'm looking for? He's got more knockouts than Willie Pep. You know. That's just my personal opinion. I think that he's more devastating than Willie Pep. You know what I mean? Willie Pep, as far as I understand, Willie Pep would move around and not really throw a punch. And there's a rumor or a legend of him fighting a whole entire round without throwing a punch. And I just don't see Lomachenko doing that. He's like a lot more busy. And the other thing about Lomachenko is that I think he uses more of what's the word I'm looking for? A sort of pattern. He does different patterns of fighting, you know. What I call algorithms. He uses different patterns of fighting. And his father really sharpened up his observation skills, reaction time. He literally worked on developing those things because he didn't just want to go with Loma's gifting. He wanted to improve it, refine it, and these were the different ways how he did it. So he kind of keeps him constantly active. His brain's constantly active, and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of intuitive, sharpen his intuitive skills. So he's very, very sharp. You know what I mean? Poopy Sister said Sean Porter is like Fraser. Uh, no. You know what Sean Porter is more like? Fraser's he kind of like Fraser, leaping left hook and stuff, but he's more like Aaron Pryor to me. To me, I mean Fraser's a small guy and used to cover the distance and get to big guys and beat them up and shit. So I could see how you could say he's Fraser. I could see it, but to me he's more like Aaron Pryor. The weird angles he comes off of, the spare jabs off of one knee, and just a lot of athletic things that I didn't see Joe Frazier doing. Sean Porter, and even if you listen to Sean Porter, he says, "What time is it? It's showtime. What time is it? That what time is it? That's Aaron Pryor used to say that. What time is it? Hawk time. What time is it? Hawk time, right? So I always thought that Sean Porter patterned himself after Aaron Pryor. Yeah, P- Sean Porter has a similar style, but more infighting style than like Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, he has something like that. But it's more like Aaron Pryor than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is like Aaron Pryor. So yeah, they all kind of fit together kind of similarly, yeah. Um so anyway, but Sean Porter is like, like when we talk about young gun stunners, we're talking about like guys like it's like a young gun stunner. I guess Terrence Crawford is kind of like one. Um he don't got that really sharp, vicious reflex time, but he can build up speed like how he dealt with Amir Khan. He's more a timing guy. Um Arrow's just a demolition man. You know what I mean? It's just like you watch at the new breed of fighters, where it's Jerome Ennis or Teofimo Lopez or it's Ryan Garcia, you know. The young guns, man, they just bad. Like you could see they're on a totally different level to the guys in the game right now who been around for a little bit. You can see that their levels above them, and they're even coming out younger. They're becoming champions sooner. That should tell you all. You tell you the level at which they're at. Look at Shakur Stevenson. Spence footwork is sick. Oh yeah, for sure. He's very precise with his footwork, very precise and just sharp. Spence is very sharp. You know, um, um, you know, uh, Jerome Ennis is sharp. Switch hitter, strong. You know what I'm saying? So, you just look at the young gun stunners out here and you can realize almost immediately, oh shit. Because Jerron Ennis actually fought Gary Russell, Gary Russell's brother, Antoine Russell. You know what I mean? So, I mean, any amateurs, you know what I'm saying? And what I would advise you guys to do to get a good idea of the foundation of these guys is go watch their amateur fights, because some of these guys are just straight cold-blooded killers. You know what I'm saying? It almost seemed like murderers row looking kind of guys in there. They're just killers, And the only way you would know this, like Ryan Garcia ain't no fucking punk, man. He ain't no joke. Okay? That's why I said this new breed. I call him the new breed, because they got so much more to bring to the game, and they all vicious and they just all hungry. You know what I mean? And that new breed, when we talk about Ryan Garcia, y'all think he's some kind of little punk, little clown. No, fuck no. Go watch him in the amateurs. He ain't no clown. He ain't no punk. Yeah. So once you guys understand that, when you see what Teofimo Lopez used to do in the now you get an idea of what this guy can do and what he is. But as of now, because some people only know about him now and they're now seeing him in the pros and they think he's flat footed and all those kind of things. But he's not, he's more than you think he is, you know. And I'm not saying that Vasily Lomachenko isn't great. He's great. He did, I mean, the figures show. But I'm just saying these guys were also great amateurs. Teofimo Lopez was a great amateur. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia was a great amateur. Devin Haney was a great amateur. So you have to pay attention to these things. These are the standouts we're talking about. All right. And so that's where a lot of people they think, Teofimo Lopez just appearing on the scene. He's green. He's gonna be like Canelo, even though Canelo had a lot of pro experience, right? But he's not a fighter like Canelo. He's not a fighter like Canelo. That's the first thing. So anyway, the point behind it is that this is a fight that you would want to see. This is there are many different factors involved in this fight that would determine the outcome of it, how it will actually play out. Obviously, obviously, we do not expect Lomachenko not to be aware of the right hand. He's going to be aware of the left hook. He's going to be aware of those things. I mean, you're going to prepare for that, right? He's going to look to counter the right hand. He's going to look to counter the left hook, right? This is something I expect him to do. He's a smart fighter. They break down what Teofimo does best. They work from there. Um, with Teofimo Lopez, I expect him to want to more fight Lomachenko, but he's going to have to approach it in a boxing sort of way, just like how Tyson Fury approached in a boxing sort of way, how he's going to deal with Deontay Wilder. And but I expect Teofimo Lopez to put the heat on Lomachenko. He's not going to go force him to fight. He's going to bring the fight to Lomachenko, sort of like what Luke Campbell started to do in spots, but kind of abandoned it for a minute, and because Lomachenko was so intense. And once it's going to be kind of like a pursuit of wills in a certain way, I think, in this fight. So we're going to see what really happens. I'm very excited for it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I'm gonna catch you guys later on What You Need. I'm out the building. Peace.